war dog. It's so interesting is that my tough Southern white boys that I couldn't even understand their English because it was so down home, but this was all in the recon and sniper community. They were so open-minded. They were the ones bumping Too Short and shit like that. So there was this great, and I'm sure you've seen it in the SEAL community, cross-pollination of everybody brings something to the table. And you know, we'll get down with Disturbed, and we'll get down with freaking Biggie, and we all will freaking spit some freaking Copenhagen, and we all learn from each other, and we kind of got this special warrior blend of culture together.
Oh, yeah.
We made our own thing, and look at it. We're reaping the benefits of it now.
Well,
we turned it into an industry.
I think once you're in the brotherhood, I think you're a lot more likely to be open, confident, and willing to understand what your brother's going through.
For sure.
But like some fucking cat you don't know, you're a lot less likely to give that guy the benefit of the doubt.
It's so true.
But your brother, you can just own. It's like he's a little bit fucked up. He's my bro. We're good with that.
For sure. In the selection process it took to get us there, we respect each other, bro.
That's why I believe in conscription.
Yes.
In the military, because the military forces people from different backgrounds, races, creeds, colors to come together and say, you have one common goal. Get the shit done.
Agree. Right. I would not be who I am without the Marine Corps for this reason.
Absolutely.
I've never been in a more dynamic learning environment.
Right.
And I've never been in a place in which, you guys all know this, in an almost infinitesimal amount of time, people from all different backgrounds and different MOSs, you have to come together, freaking make a plan and execute.
Right.
There is no place, not Wall Street, not Hong Kong, there is no place in the world, there's no not at Apple, they're at Google, no place is more dynamic and more filled with power, skill, and business sense than the freaking Spec Ops community.
Damn right.
I agree.
Damn right. And then what it takes to even get to that point. You have the top freaking 5% of the world.
Yes.
These individuals are multitaskers. These individuals are freaking force multipliers in and of themselves.
Well said. Communicators, force multipliers. They're an asset to every single thing they do in every environment they're in.
Right.
Corporations, business.
Look at us now.
That's why they succeed.
Yeah. That's right.
Why is that red and not blue?
It's recording.
Oh, okay, good. Dude, the reason is we spend like fucking $800 on that thing, and sometimes it works.
What is it, brother?
It's Amoeba. What it does, there's a screen. It bounces on everybody's face.
Oh wow! Oh, we're being
records. We're being recorded.
Fantastic.
So this green screen, Jason's gonna put up some
maybe a little war background or something.
Yeah, some cool shit.
And then whatever
Apocalypse Now or some Deer Hunter.
Whatever.
And then every now and then some pink elephants flying
I
around.
love that. That's right. I've seen it. That's right. This is genius, brother. A great way to be creative.
You know, it's gotta be have fun with this shit.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something, make it something you love doing.
That's right.
Exactly. And I am just fucking a mess up there, so why not have my podcast be a mess?
I like the pink elephants.
So what was it like playing yourself on Generation Kill? I want to hear about that, if you don't mind.
Sure, brother. Well, you know what? It was much harder than you think.
Yeah.
I mean, I look like the guy, but it would be like as an E3 the first time you have to brief a colonel.
Right.
And
Non-stop.
it's the confirmation of ops brief.
Right.
And you got all the moving parts around you, and all eyes are on you, and you have to execute. It's very challenging. Acting to do well is very, very hard because this is it. Like, we're having an organic conversation here, and we're connecting to each other as people. You also have a part of the brain thinking about what lines to hit and what action to do while keeping this emotional, organic relationship. And you can do it perfectly, but then sounds messed up. You can do it perfectly, or another actor doesn't hit their mark. You have to do it 20 times, and every time fresh and solid so that they can cut in. You have to be, and brother, it's so much like operations. It's so much like operations. So once I figured out how hard it was, I knew immediately I wanted to do more of it.
Right.
And I don't back away from a challenge. Also, the entertainment business, my goodness, you want to talk about money. And I am not a material person. As you can see, I don't even buy sleeves, dog.
Yeah. You save money on your shirts.
But what that money does with power and influence and getting you to a place as entrepreneurs, as CEOs, what it does for opportunities to buy our time away so we can spend time with kids.
Yeah,
This is true.
I saw how much money was in this business, and I think Generation Kill was made for like $80 million, $90 million.
goodness.
And I said, my goodness, if we have an opportunity to be in this field, absolutely seize the day, you know? So that's why I still do it, and now it's
Nice.
really coming about, man.
I just want to
Good for you.
I want to give Rudy his kudos. Rudy was to me of our generation the first celebrity Marine.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
brother,
yeah.
of our
You
generation.
get
I
that.
definitely
Wow.
say so.
You get that
That's
title.
awesome.
Thank you. And who knew this would happen? We were all still in the middle of warfare. I just got back from Fallujah and Ramadi, and then, 2 years later, I'm in Namibia, filming like it's Kuwait and redoing my invasion from 4 or 5 years ago. None of us knew. None of us knew the wars would keep going forever. I mean, we're still fighting in Afghanistan.
18 fucking
Yes,
years
and
so
Syria
far.
and Iraq. Are still
Iraq
hot,
too, right?
You know
Africa's
it.
next.
You know it.
And then what's Nicaragua?
Nicaragua.
No,
Oh,
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Sorry.
Venezuela is
Yeah.
falling apart. I have
Yeah.
a beautiful friend from Venezuela, and she does high-end schooling and entrepreneurship mindset for children in Venezuela so that they can empower themselves to take back their country.
Thank God.
Her
Right.
name is Joa, and
it's-
she says it is war on the streets there.
No, absolutely. Well,
It's still-
they're eating their pets now.
Yes.
Which is
Money,
terrible.
Money's
They're-
all over the street.
And there's-
Oh yeah, they're just throwing it
nothing.
away because it's worthless.
It's worthless. Yet they had so many resources.
Right.
Venezuela had so much. Let us learn from that. We can never overextend ourselves and count on everybody else outside of ourselves to
Right.
give us our basic daily
I
needs.
like to hear your opinion. Being a person who has taken a sworn oath,
Yes.
at what point do you think the military and the police officers should care more about the people than the office?
Now they're in Venezuela to think about that. We think. I've thought about this before. I've thought about this before about. We have terrorists that attack our country, and then we even have homegrown terrorists, and then of many different factions, not just extremist Muslims, which we have the most part, but there's others too. If there was a decree and martial law was instated, where would we find ourselves? Would I be supporting the military? Would I be supporting my people? Would I be in between? I would pray that young hard charger, that young corporal up on that machine gun would have the humanity to go guns up, even if he was given the order to open up on our own civilians. But man, I mean, it's really tough. We've been in situations in Iraq and Afghanistan where we're fighting in the midst of civilian populations. You know what? That's the thing about us warriors is now we have that choice. We are no longer taking orders. We are our own battlefield commander of our lives, so it's going to be up to us.
Well, for me in that position, when we stop denying our population food, medical service, they can't get electricity anymore, they can't get water, they can't get their basic needs met. And then another thing we fail to recognize is the military and the police officers, they don't want to do anything against the general population.
Sure.
So when it's time to get rid of the fucking government, I would think that they're dialed in.
And look at some of the coups that have happened because of it.
Right.
And we'll get deeper politically maybe next time.
Yeah,
our
we're good.
history. Our history in the United States of America when we set up puppet regimes in Central America, South America, and
Right.
Middle East.
Middle East too.
But then again, now after we've all had this experience, sometimes we have to be an empire, and I don't say that just because of American exceptionalism. I'll say of all the big players on the block, we have the most connection to human rights, women's rights, children's rights, and we may not
Agreed.
be perfect, but who do you want? You want China, Russia, or us? Who do you want?
Well, Tony Blair said it best. He judges a country by the amount of people trying to get in and the amount of
Well
people
said.
trying to get out.
Boom! Then
And
we are definitely
America's
doing something right, bro.
America still fucking wins.
That's right.
I'd like to see a little bit more appreciation from some of our own patrons every now and then. You know what I mean? Some they have to give it to the U.S.
I agree.
Like Rudy said, we're not perfect, but we're willing to take that walk. Although it's a
Well-
rough road, we're willing to take that walk.
We're not perfect, but everybody's coming here, right? Our
Because
homeless
there's
our homeless
opportunity.
people are fat. Granted,
Brother, don't get me fired up.
No, I'm
in
just
LA,
saying.
I lose my goddamn mind. Our homeless are fat and have
Exactly.
and have smartphones,
Right.
supercomputers,
in their fucking pocket.
Yes.
You have more technology in your pocket than the first vehicle that landed on the
I
fucking
think
moon.
this is one of the few countries where being homeless could be an option.
Yes, as opposed to the destitute, savage survival.
True story. I was down on Lower East Side one time, and this guy asked me for some money to go into a fast food joint and get some food. And I looked at him, and his jeans had a crease, and he had new shirts on. I said, "How much you pulling? About $100 a day?"
From panhandling?
Oh yeah, $100. This guy's making $30,000 a year, panhandling, and who
no
knows?
overhead.
And
No
who
overhead.
exactly?
Nope.
And who knows what he's taking in on other public subsidized programs?
Totally, I know.
So I was
brother.
just like, you know what, man? Good luck, but I'm not giving you anything.
And to that
Don't blame
point,
me.
Yeah.
we have to start having serious discussions about what is our American culture now, and how can we bring it back to a place of earning is pride,
Right?
being a leader in community, in small business, in children's lives. That has to start to become heroic again.
I think that's
You know?
I think that has to come from education. You know what I mean? Because we have a bunch of fathers that aren't present.
Isn't that
So
the
we have to give more money to the education system because the entitlement programs aren't working.
No, they don't. You know,
Educators,
they don't at all.
educators are starting to realize that their title is more than just education now. Now they're actually raising children.
They're parents.
Yeah.
They're
Because
parents
the
in
economy-
lieu of our in lieu of having parents.
Yeah.
So I Mexican American. All my family's from the border of South Texas, and my family on my mother's side, especially my mother and some of the immediate family there, welfare their whole life, and I grew up like that. It was a complete victim state. I'm not even saying state of mind. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just telling you that when you are in that space, when that is your reality, you are a victim. And what can come out of that? Nothing but more pain. And best thing that happened to me is when I went to the Omaha Home for Boys, and I had my dean of boys give a shit about me and teach me wrestling and get me on the wrestling team. And in the boys' home, brothers, everybody has to work. Every boy from 5 years old to 18. We do all our own chores. Then we work the chow hall. It's very militaristic.
That's awesome.
We do lawn crew, and if you're a good boy and you get privileges, you're able to take the lawnmower out into town and mow lawns there too. My gosh, getting a paycheck, getting $5 here and there. Oh, and they taught us to have a time card too.
Right.
I mean, this saved my life. It saved all
Absolutely.
those boys' lives. The passion and the pride of earning.
Right.
We need to bring that back, no matter what.
No, I agree with you. And the reason we see a lot of this homeless problem that we have in our great nation currently is because we used to have work farms that
Yes.
followed that program, that
Yep.
protocol. They would get. Of course, you have mentally ill people that can't help themselves.
Sure, shit, we're
That's
a little
just
mentally ill sometimes.
No, a little bit.
But we don't use that as a stopper. We use
Yeah.
it as a post-traumatic growth, not post-traumatic stress.
No, exactly. So if we took those programs back and we did have those work farms,
Yep.
I think we would see a change.
Job Corps.
No,
Remember they used to have
absolutely.
Job Corps.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the New Deal that was put out by
FDR, right.
FDR, and there was some issues. People say it was socialist, but he needed to get the country back on track and get them to work.
But look at some of those things. We got our highway system, we got our dam system, we got our
dams.
fucking power system across our fucking great nation because of those
said.
programs.
Well said.
Socialism, I disagree. If we weren't making money off of it,
Well
then it
It's
would be
not
socialist.
socialist. It
No, it's
wasn't
capitalist.
socialism. It was pure capitalism.
Did we raise some taxes? Yes, we did.
Yes.
However, did we put a bunch of families to work? Did we feed
Yes,
a bunch
we
of
did.
people?
We
Did
got
we
out of the
educate a bunch
depression.
of Absolutely.
The Dust Bowl, the depression, and then we went and fought the two greatest militaries in the world and won.
Well, we're still the fucking World War champs.
Yeah, we are. We are. World War II.
back to
One
back.
and two. That's right.
Goddamn right.
You know what I'm saying? I agree. We need to figure out a way in our world. Well, we're doing it organically with the veteran community. We're
Right.
always getting each other work.
Right.
Whether we're contracting or security or law enforcement
No.
or I'm modeling now, so I bring in some of my other bros to model for Beyond Clothing
Exactly.
and for Fearless and such.
Exactly what you mentioned earlier. When somebody does something, you don't ask for a discount. For example, Jason in his book,
Yes.
he gave me one of gave me one of his books and he's passing out. I'm like, I don't want you to fucking give it to me. Here's the fucking $20
Yeah,
for
well
the
said.
fucking copies. Give me those books.
Well, so that's
You're
the
putting
biggest
this shit
form.
out.
That's
You
the
should be
biggest form
paid.
of respect. That's
Absolutely.
the biggest form of respect and honor is to have your services valued enough,
Right.
so that somebody puts some greenbacks down, right?
And it also enables you to be that creative mind that you
I agree.
are.
When we're suffering,
Keep
for,
producing.
Yeah,
Here.
when we're suffering because we can't pay the bills,
Right.
there's no worse feeling as a man is when you cannot pay your bills.
Right.
You feel like a letdown.
Yeah,
you feel
less
like a
than.
failure.
Less than,
and
absolutely.
And that takes away all creative energy.
Right.
Feeling like
Yes.
that. So I agree. Earning in school, earning at home. I mean, everything, just earn and go forward. And your dreams, as you're taking steps to your dreams are taking steps to you. Don't wait for anybody.
No, absolutely.
It's about initiative. And this is what's great about the military. We were so initiative based and aggression based.
Right.
I didn't say violent, aggression.
Right.
Momentum created by aggression and initiative. And look what we're still doing it now. It's awesome.
Right.
It's fantastic. I live for it.
No, absolutely. And all those things, whatever's required. Is violence required?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
In our old job.
Right,
Yes,
but-
right.
and
Your job.
even current contracts.
That's
Sometimes
right.
you got to do what you got to do, but it's not like you don't approach every situation like
No.
that. You just know that you have the switch that whenever's required, you're gonna flip that fucking switch on. You're gonna get the deal done, and then
That's
it's
right.
gonna be over.
That's right.
And it's
And-
time to be a regular person.
And what a great confidence that you can go to 11
right.
with a flip of a switch. Also, with great power comes great responsibility, like Spider-Man.
definitely.
You don't flip that switch unless you've exhausted all options. Somebody said one time, if the only tool you have in the toolbox is a hammer, you see every problem in the world as a nail. Well, we have many tools in our toolbox now, and
Right.
it feels great.
Absolutely. I've also used that analogy to describe people. If you're a hammer, then everything you see is a nail.
And we were hammers at one time.
Right, no,
Yet
of
we were
course.
utilizing so many different skill sets, and we had platoon, we had team,
Right.
we had squad, all these other assets. But our MOS was the hammer.
Right.
And wonderful as it was, it got us to a special place. But now, that transition from warrior to citizen, that's where we're at now. We'll never forget where we come from, and I still keep my warrior skills sharp.
Got to.
Mostly from my soul, man. I need a
agree.
connection to who I was because it was some of the most beautiful times in my life. Even in combat, some of the happiest times because everything's blowing up and on fire around you. And the smile you get from your boy when you're digging your sector and you're freaking talking guns, and somehow you've got a state of grace about you because every moment's gonna be your last.
And
So
then
what?
There's
Right.
that.
You
There's
know
always
what I mean? Just this happiness.
there's always that one dirty joke in the middle of
Yes, right.
chaos.
Yes,
It's
in
just
the
like,
middle of it, right?
You laugh.
Yes.
You're getting
Yes.
shot. You're pinned down by a machine gun. And
Yes.
you're just like, oh, you're an idiot.
Yes, yes. The RPGs are freaking pouring in, and still, you know what I mean? Oh man, it's
man,
so
I
good. And
miss
so
those
we
days,
take that
yeah.
forward. We take that forward. I've been successful, especially with Force Blue in my career now, is because I have an inner circle of warriors and of real human beings, force multipliers, even if they were not military. They are
Right.
force multipliers. And with that squad, with that team, I can do anything. I would recommend, people ask me about what are the secrets to my success. I use the analogy of a table, like this table, with the legs being stable and being the same size, meaning balanced. We can put whatever we want on this table, and we can use it for shelter underneath. And my four legs are, first, my physical fitness, because that's my mental fitness.
Of course.
Number two, my brotherhood, my squad mates, my teammates, and my family. Since I'm an orphan, my family's military family.
Right.
Number three is Mother Nature. I need to be in the ocean. I need to be in the mountains. I need to commune and connect with forest. I need to be a part of the natural world. And it's part of what I loved about the Marine Corps the most is always being in the field.
Always in the dirt.
That's right. I love it. And then the fourth one is a mission.
Right.
A mission of goodness and virtue, a mission that may seem impossible, but a mission. With those four table legs, I can make a very strong table of my life, and I can carry whatever I want on top of it, or I can sleep underneath it. That's how I do it.
I found,
Nice.
I
I
found
like
a
it.
certain profound beauty in having your main priority only to be to stay alive. That's your main priority.
It's essence, isn't it? It's beautiful.
You're not worried about credit score, bills. You're in
You're
in the
For
thick
not
of
being
it,
killed.
and you're about to fucking leave the wire, and that's it. Everything gets shut off, and it's just
I
unadulterated
agree.
survival.
It's almost it's blissful.
It's very
And I think that's why I look back at some of my times with my teammates and my last platoon in Fallujah and Ramadi, brother. Some of the hardest, heaviest fucking combat. And we were doing Trojan horse. People were trying to kidnap me because I was dressed as a Turkish or a foreign national working in the laundry or the chow hall, and my machine gunner is in the back with a little. We've got cut-off teams, but still it's close. I mean, the motherfuckers smashing into my vehicle right here, and then we just fucking pour into them. And I mean, it's real. It's real as fuck. And then the other parts, the destruction over time when certain units fell apart, and then the civilian families were slaughtered when the death squads came back in.
Yeah.
The totality of it all. Still, I couldn't have done it without that team and that levity, because all we were there to do was to fucking locate, close with, and destroy, and protect our brothers while we were doing
That's right.
That's it. And it was blissful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because it's a singular focus.
It was. It's beautiful.
Right.
It's
Fucking
sports when we were
fucking
kids.
poetry.
It is.
Right.
It is. Whether you're wrestling or playing football or baseball, whatever. That singular focus. I mean, it's magical stuff,
Right,
as you said.
absolutely.
I love it, and I try to still incorporate it in my life, and I guess that's why I still do athletics, and I still stay connected to sport. Just breathing hard helps me get back.
Well, you can get in the fucking zone if
Yes.
you, because you're in that particular situation, you're suffering. And to get back there, to have a similar endorphin release, to have a
Yes.
similar dial-in,
Yes.
you have
Well
to
said.
fucking stress yourself out physically.
said, brother.
And a great way to do that is swimming. A great way to
I
do that's
love it,
diving.
brother. I
Great way to
love
do
it.
that's lifting heavy shit.
Yes.
Long runs, long
Yes.
bicycle
Some
rides.
kickboxing.
You got to fucking suffer.
I agree, and you're
Yep.
exactly right about hitting the responses in our nervous system
Right.
and in our endocrine system that gave us such joy.
Right.
And maybe that's why we were so happy when we were fighting.
I think
of
so.
it as we were firing on all cylinders, and we can almost, unless people have been there, and some athletes in the zone, they understand it. But
Yeah.
to our level, we were in a special zone in which I swear, I know you guys have had this experience as well, I could tell what was going to happen even before it was
You
happening.
would experience precognition.
Yeah.
Just like a professional athlete performing just a little bit above their skill level.
Yes.
To be dialed in like that for
Yes.
20, 30, 60 hours at a time.
Going to another quadrant in
Right.
the middle of combat stress,
Right.
and I can already feel what my enemy's thinking, where they're going to come from, and then sometimes in the middle of it, when the machine guns are going in, and the RPGs, and there's freaking casts and everything, I swear I can see the bullets going through the air, just everything slowed down, and I'm in this special slipstream,
Yep.
and that's that brain and nervous system fired up on all cylinders from immense training before. Remember,
Of course.
people die in our training.
Right.
A lot of people don't know this out there. A lot of us die in training because it has to be this
it does
realistic.
happen, right.
It has to be this realistic. But look what it does. Because of that realistic training, we're able to perform in the worst conditions in the world. We have to find ways to do that in our citizen life, or else, for me, it was depression.
Well,
Depression came in real hard when I did not have that.
No, that's what happened to me also. But when I came back, I started trying to combat depression with way too much alcohol.
Yes.
And then the alcohol wasn't working, so I went on to cocaine.
I went into hard alcohol and drugs.
Yep.
At 37, I finally burned out
Right.
of being a workaholic.
Yep.
And that's where I went. But and then I was not happy with myself anymore.
Right.
So I was so self-destructive. I even stopped training. I stopped caring. And it was hard for me to even get out of bed.
Yep.
And this was 80 degrees from what got me to the dance in the first place. And at the time, I thought it was all my fault. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the biggest shitbag in
Right.
recon. Even though I kept a smiley face on, I was so hurting. And then I started finding out I wasn't the only one.
Right.
That we were all going through it.
I think that was the catalyst when you were able to talk to someone that
Yes.
been through the same shit
Yes.
you've been through,
Yes.
and say, "Oh my God,
Yes.
I'm not alone." And not
Yes.
only that, it was alarming to a certain extent.
Yes. That everybody's
Holy
going
shit!
through it.
How many of us are not
Almost
talking about this.
Almost everyone goes through it. It's done heavy shit.
Well, what happens, especially is in Western civilization, we get force-fed. We're supposed to be fucking John Wayne. You're supposed to be quiet. You're not supposed to have these feelings.
Totally,
you're not
brother.
supposed to deal with that. So the guys are fucking hyper-aggressive alpha males. They come back and they're having some fucking challenges, and it's mathematically impossible to cure depression with a depressant.
Isn't
And
that
you
true?
and you don't want to talk about it, and that's the fucking biggest strength. Because there's lots of guys out there that are going through the same shit, and if you're willing to be a little bit vulnerable,
Yes.
just a little bit,
So
and
much
find
power.
out somebody else has been there.
So much power.
We got 8,000, and we had Jason Redmond on last week,
Oh,
and he was
yes.
saying
I love that man.
we have 8,000 vets every fucking year that are suck starting their pistol or whatever, every year, and if these guys would just reach out and say, "Hey, man, I'm suffering from this, I'm suffering
Yes.
from that," because there's people out there that have been there and have done
Damn
that.
straight, all
Yeah.
of us. And now that you mention that, that's the best thing that has happened because of social media.
I agree.
We connect. We have a little page, a Recon Sniper and Sark and Marsoc page for us.
Right.
How many lives does that save?
So
bro?
many.
Oh, yeah.
It gives
There's
me
always,
goosebumps.
there's
It
always
makes
a
me
reach
cry,
out. There's
brother.
always a call to
Oh my
reach
God!
out.
Look, bro! You see these goosebumps?
No, that's
There'd
good
be
shit.
brothers
Yep.
on there said, "I'm."
Unbeknownst to the brother.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just got off the phone with
With
so and
so-and-so,
so.
right.
Hit him the fuck up, and next thing you know, boom, 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 boom.
Everyone.
Yep.
And it saved lives. Gives me goosebumps, brother.
Now that's good shit
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh, and I mean, brothers that were on the edge.
Right.
Listen, everyone, I think this is it. I can't have, my wife's left me. My kids are gone. I've lost my job. I can't handle. Boom. Not only do we get on the hook, mugs mobilize and get to the
Oh
house.
yeah, absolutely.
No matter
Absolutely.
what it
No, we
takes.
get it in. Yeah.
And this is, it gives me tears of joy that we are able to do this.
It goes back to enabling the community, those members of the community, to be able to do such things.
Yes.
Had we not supported each other in our endeavors,
Yes.
which give you that freedom to be Rudy and
awesome.
fly to different freaking
Isn't that
states.
great?
And do your
And
deal,
And
yeah.
say, I'm coming for you guys.
And it's exactly
you know,
right.
the craziest part is I would say the presumption is that Rudy is fucking loaded.
Oh yeah.
But let me tell you, whether it is or not,
It's not.
Rudy will be the first motherfucker to hit it. Hey, I'm going to Austin. Who's got a couch?
No, exactly.
I've
No,
seen it so
dude.
many times.
Yes.
The brotherhood's like that.
That's
Should be.
right.
And someone always
Always.
rogers up.
No,
Always.
good.
Always rogers
Well, they
up.
should be.
And
I love it.
How blessed is that? And that's that that community and the family. You know what? We say how many times growing up in our warfighting communities. I remember the first time I heard community when I was going through amphibious reconnaissance school, or ARS. I heard our instructors talking about the reconnaissance community. I didn't even really understand what that meant, what it really meant, and it means family and brotherhood, no matter what.
Right.
And we will always be beside you. Always. And I love, now look at this, bro. Look how our whole military community, and of course the soft people, we're the most switched on to it because we have relied on each other for combat and we know how important it is. But now it's no longer SF and pararescue SEALs and recon and MARSOC. It's everybody together.
Right.
And this is rad. This has never been like this before, and I love it.
Right.
I can't be thankful enough about how
we're-
much we've come together.
We're acknowledging our infantry brothers and sisters.
Oh,
We're in the
fuck
same
yeah.
fucking fight, and sometimes much more hellacious fights.
Oh
Yes.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we don't ostracize. I think we're
Not at
becoming
all.
a culture that we're starting to come away from that cool guy ostracizing.
We
Oh,
are.
I
We're totally
agree.
getting away
I
from
agree
that
with
now.
you 100%. You know, guys still talk shit just because of fucking esprit de corps. I
That's
mean,
our
you
nature,
got
bro.
you got to talk some shit.
That's right. It's
But at the
competitive.
fucking end of the day, where the rubber hits the road, is like, you need some fucking help, bro. You fucking call me. It don't matter. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
so
I mean,
true.
we're gonna talk shit because you're
Yeah.
in the Air Force or you're in the Coast Guard, but still,
that's the good shit.
we're here for you.